Hello everyone, this is Blender Guppy. Welcome to a video demo of Random Flow and the Creative Flow add-ons. So in this video, I'm going to create a chest. This is going to incorporate the panel cloth, and also we're going to try and instead of we're going to use random panels to make the details on the treasure chest, Sci-Fi treasure chest body merged to the actual model and not the typical result that you'd get using the random operators. So by default, of course, when you use the operators, you will have this as a result. The randomized geometry will be a separate object, so the source object will not be touched and the randomized result will be a new object. So this is true for most of the operators except for random panels, which has a merge function, and also for plate insets. So plate insets, operators like this, quick displacement, and their results are destructive, meaning that the source mesh will be destroyed or will be altered. Not necessarily destroyed, but altered. Okay, so I'm going to create a rounded chest. What do they call this? Container. So auto smooth. So creative flow, Control Shift X, auto smooth, and we're going to mirror this in the x-axis and create an opening here. So P, separate that, and clicking this, selecting this vert here, cursor selected, then using the 3D cursor as a pivot point, we can open it up like that. Okay, and Control F and then press S. We're going to be using the solidify faces and give it some thickness, so 0.05 or 0.03. The same thing with the chest, Control FS. So that used the last value, so that's 0.03, and we're going to disable this in real time and delete the faces in the middle. This is the result of the solidify operation. Okay, adding in some additional loops. So the operators, the random operators, works best with low to mid resolution selections, and of course they work with quads. Okay, okay, let's test it out right here. Random panels, and this is the result. Let's restart to operator defaults. So that's the result of the randomization based on the topology. So the way the randomization works is that you gotta have more faces in order for the randomization to actually work. I'll come out with a lot more patterns because of the additional faces. Now all I'm doing here is just manipulating the properties to come up with the result that I want. Okay, so we're going to use the merge function. Well, let's try this. Since we've increased the resolution, if we try to use the okay, so increasing this to subdivision level 2, you'd start to see the banding because of the subdivision. Now let's just try to limit our subdivision to 1 to avoid the subdivision banding, and we'll try to tackle it, how to get rid of it, in another video. So if we try to use the merge panel now, the subdivision of these of the random panel result will be used on the source object in order to match their topology and merge them better. So like that, and if I merge them, so you can see that the topology has increased. Okay, but when you use the and also the okay, the mirror is intact. And when you use the operation again to come out with the detail that you have to merge, you don't have to use the subdivision again because we have already subdivided the source mesh. Okay, so leave it at 0 because when we use the merge panel earlier, we have subdivided the source mesh to level 1. So when you increase the, for example, we increase the subdivision now, so this is the same as using subdivision level 2 in the first operation. So let's since we already have the faces needed to since we already have a lot of faces to play with, we don't have to actually increase the subdivision. Okay, let's use the clip center, shift and then drag, or you can input the value manually. Okay, so let's just try and use the panel seed to look for the patterns that look good or make sense. So you can play around with the panel seed, or you can play around with the min max of the panel size. Okay, so okay, that looks good. So when you look for the pattern, look for something that makes sense based on the design that you are modeling. So you can use walk or radial. So walk is more random, and radial is just a bunch of squares. You can see rectangles with different sizes, using different sizes of the squares and rectangles, while walk is more random. Okay, I think we can use this. This is Yeah, I think we can use this. And then selecting this. So this is actually Unimesh, meaning that using the merge function we have a whole mesh instead of being separate meshes. If you can find the pattern that you want, you can of course just design it manually. So let's try and hide this using the sharp function. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and then edge rings, no, edge loops, Control E, mark sharp, and also mark sharp this. Okay, mark sharp this, and then get rid of the mark sharp on this one. Clear sharp, Alt H, and selecting the faces here. You can use random flow here, or you can use the separate add-on, which is dedicated for this. Use called the panel cut, is in my store, so like that. But if you're using random flow, you can also do it by turning the min max value to 100, so it only splits the edges that are marked sharp. But of course, using panel cut will be faster. This is separate if you don't want the complicated add-ons such as random flow, and if you only want the panel cut, the manual panel cut detail. Okay, so this is not merged. Okay, random panels, and this is merged. Let's just get rid of the sharp. Okay, zero. That is, of course, you can use that technique if, for example, you've spent a lot of time using the seed value to look for a pattern that's useful to you, and you can find any. So you can just manually create it. Okay, for details like this, in edit mode we can use draw cuts and just cut something like that. Control T. So if you want to make it quad like that. Okay, don't extrude straight like that. We're going to use inset I, and then mouse drag. May create a bit of a margin here, and then I guess, wait, control, yeah, control to set the depth, or you can use inset and not set the depth, and then left click to confirm, and then just use Alt S for the depth afterwards. So look, as you can see, the detail is much more obvious or noticeable compared to using just extruding directly. See, if you want the detail sharp, you can use this, but if you want to have a transition, you can use the inset. You can set, even with the detail that small, you can still see you can notice the difference. You can also use the height, create some depth on the details, and not just let them be some flat panel cut detail. Just a subtle amount. Then you can use this height seed to randomize their height, like that. Let's do the same thing here. Press B to include the symmetry line, and then create the margin, and then Alt S. Okay, so something like that. So it's pretty simple. So there's a lot of ways you can use the random flow add-on. You can use it for really extreme stuff like details everywhere. When you're just using concepting like crazy, you can of course do it, or you can use it in a controlled manner like I'm using it now. We have to draw again. Control T, Alt J. Okay. So keeping it quads. And also for this one, let's try and yeah. Let's try and scale this. Nope. Let's inset this and okay. Now we need to work on this one. Let's add more topology. So because if you're just working with just this lateral topologies, so if we subdivide it, it will the randomization will work on these faces. So if we have a few added loops, then when we subdivide, it will have these faces. The randomization script will have all these quads to play with. So depending on the situation, but mostly the randomization will be better if you're using faces that have generally equal sizes or something like that. So random slice is a new operator, and it will be in the next update. So subdivision. Level 1, we're already seeing some banding, so let's just use 0 subdivision since we already have enough faces to play with. Okay, let's use mark sharp. Let's just use the manual cut mark sharp. So you're basically designing the cut using mark sharp edges. Just make sure that the mark sharp edges are contiguous, meaning that they're not going to be like this. Make sure that each end of the line or of the edges touches an edge or ends in an edge or edge border that's also marked as sharp, like that. Okay, so clear sharp. Okay, clear sharp, and then we're going to this did not. Okay, let's fix this. I'm going to fix this using the knife. Press A for angle and C for cut through, and let's remove the doubles if there are doubles. Okay, mark sharp, and also this one did not subdivide correctly. Okay, K and A. Okay, and I'm just going to use panel cut. There's distortion. Right here. Okay. So this needs to be contiguous. Like that. And we're going to merge it also. Say create another inset detail here, create margin and push down, so we can use this as a light source later on. Okay, so you can see compared to some of my videos, you can see that you can actually just control the output of the randomization to make it look less random. Okay, and now we're going to use the cloth probably on the inside, selecting this face, then Control plus to increase the selection. Going to use random panels. increase the depth. So the final render will be in my Patreon along with the shader, and that post will be public, so you can download it and check it out. Check out the mesh, and also check out the shaders. I probably won't include the shading in this video just to save time, and let you just study the shading in my in the blend file in my Patreon. Okay. You know what? Let's mark sharp this, and that will be 100% cut, and we can mix it. We're not using 100%. We can mix it with the randomization. Just looking for something that works for me, for my eye. Of course, it's not it's gonna be different in your perspective. So yeah, I think this works. Okay, and we're going to use a cloth for this for the inside, and probably not include this one. Oh wait. I'm going to extract these faces using the extract in random flow. Mesh, extract. Okay, there we go. And just delete the faces that I don't need. First, I was going to apply auto mirror on the x-axis. Okay, these are the faces that we need. Hopefully this will result in, let's try and repeat this. Use a different, there we go. Six. Control R6. 1 2 1 2 1 2. Okay. Control R 7 1 2 1 2 1 2, and then this one. So we're going to mark seam. This way the cloth will be cut in those areas. Panel cloth, increase the subdivision. And for split mode, let's use the seams. For the mode, let's use uniform, so there's no randomization on this. Okay, cut. Increase the. Let's try just cut one to better experiment with the values without actually just crashing the whole thing. Shrink, gravity, margin. Oh, point, oh, what's this, 0.5, and this is 2. Increase the cut. Okay, actually, okay, the all look separate, so that's good. Remove faces. Okay, and then shade smooth. Okay, so there's going to be material for the cloth, and also, oh, I think it clipped on the middle. There we go. I should change that. There will be a material for the metal and also for the cloth, so you can, of course, try your own, try the add-ons using the same concept, model concept. We won't be probably be ending up with the same result, because of course the result is random, but at least you'd get the gist of the workflow. Okay, so all that it needs now is the shader, but first we're going to get rid of the cloth, and for the metal we're just going to randomize it. We're just going to use a base color using black and white vertex color. You can use color if you want, and experiment with the properties here, but I'll just use the black and white. So black and white by just turning the min max of the saturation to 0, and then you can play around with the values. You can use object, but in this case, since we used merge, there's only 2 objects, the lid and the chest. Actually we need to create the legs. Wait, let's create the balancing. Okay, there we go. Oh, what the? Wait. There's a way to do this. Shift H, and this is the middle, and just Control plus to expand, Alt H, F9 to not select, and then extrude, and then scale to Z and press 0. So now they're equal on its side. Okay, and let's try and scale this like that, and give it a bit of a bevel. Actually, wait. It's too close. So let's give it a bit of a margin. And Control B. Now Control T. Alt J. And yeah, we're better off using this one. If you don't want the in-gone, the try is actually acceptable. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, there we go. And let's go back to the vertex color. Shift Q, run the vertex color, and instead of using object and island, just use sharp. So the mark sharp will be in the next update. This will automatically mark sharp the edges, in your model based on the angle threshold, and then color it using those mark sharp separation. But since if you don't have this yet, you can go to Creative Flow and edges, get sharp, and then mark sharp, and then you can use random vertex color and then sharp, and play around with the value. Okay, mark sharp. So this is much more convenient because it works on multiple objects at the same time. And if you don't like some of the faces that some of the vertex color in some of the faces, just select them manually in edit mode, get rid of the overlay. So my shortcut for that is Shift Alt Z. You can set it in the preferences, and Control Shift X edges. This only works on edit mode, and you can replace it using this, or you can pick the color from any object or any part of the object, just like that. There we go. H. So all it needs now is the shader, and I'm going to stop the video here because building the shader from the beginning to end is pretty long. Okay, so if I'm going to discuss it, I'm going to just it's going to be just shading instead of modeling plus shading. So when it's modeling, it's just going to be modeling without the shading. But I'm going to link this file to the Patreon post, where you can download this model, this blend file with this model and with the shader I use for the metal and the cloth. Okay, so that's it for this video, and if you have any questions, make sure to use the comment section or the links in the description. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.